Hey everybody, my name is Lowell and welcome to the channel. So we have a reaction video. This is from Moving to the US podcast on YouTube. This is 10 shocking things Europeans get wrong about America. So let's jump in and let's have a look at this.
When I first moved to the United States, I thought I knew what to expect. After all, I'd seen the movies, watched the TV shows, and even visited a few times as a tourist.
Okay.
But living here, that's a completely different story. Today, I'm sharing the biggest surprises and culture shocks I experienced as a European moving to America. Some funny, some frustrating, and some that truly changed the way I see the world.
Okay.
Let's start with the obvious. Everything is bigger. And I mean everything. The cars, the roads, the supermarkets, the portions at restaurants, even the coffee cups are supersized. I remember my first trip to a grocery.
Is there a coffee cup too big? I don't think so. I think that's just coffee can never be too big. That's for sure.
Even the coffee cups are supersized. I remember my first trip to a grocery store. The cereal aisle alone was the size of a small shop back home. There were 20 different types of milk, 100 varieties of bread, and entire shelves dedicated to just peanut butter. It was overwhelming and a little bit exciting at the same time. Speaking of food, the portion sizes were a huge shock. In Europe, meals are usually smaller and more balanced. Here, even a small meal could feed 2 people. The first time I ordered a sandwich at a deli, I thought they'd made a mistake. It was massive. And don't get me started on free refills. The idea that you can get unlimited soda or coffee just by asking, that felt like a superpower. Another surprise was how friendly people are, at least on the surface. In Europe, people can be reserved, especially in big cities. In the US, strangers greet you, chat in elevators, and ask how you're doing, even if they don't actually want an answer. At first, I thought everyone was just being polite, but over time, I realized it's part of the culture. Small talk is a way of life here, and it's actually pretty nice once you get used to it. But not all surprises were positive. One of the biggest shocks was the cost of healthcare. Back home, I was used to affordable or even free medical care. In the US, a simple doctor's visit can cost hundreds of dollars. Health insurance is complicated, expensive, and doesn't always cover everything. The first time I saw a medical bill, I honestly thought it was a mistake. If you're moving here, make sure you research your insurance options before you arrive. Tipping.
I think that's one of the big things. The difference, we have free medical healthcare. It's 2% of your tax goes to that, which is not a lot when you get it for free. But I think that's the big thing, that medical burden on the person, when you live in America. But, that's what insurance is there for. Just make sure you get, if you can afford it, that's the thing. Get good insurance. It can be pretty costly from what I heard.
If you're moving here, make sure you research your insurance options before you arrive. Tipping is another thing that took me a while to get used to. In Europe, tipping is optional and usually small. In the US, it's expected. 20% at restaurants, a few dollars for the barista, even your hairdresser or taxi driver. I was always worried I'd get it wrong or offend someone. Eventually, I just started carrying extra cash for tips wherever I went. Let's talk about transportation. In many European cities, public transport is the norm. Here, outside of a few big cities, you really need a car. Distances are huge and public transport can be limited or unreliable. I had to learn to drive everywhere, even just to buy groceries. And parking? Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's outrageously expensive, and sometimes you circle the block for half an hour looking for a spot.
I think that's everywhere. That's the same in Australia. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's bloody expensive for who knows what, especially if you spend any time at the hospitals. It's bloody ridiculous. And then sometimes there's not enough parking. You just spend it circling the block, as he said, and then you get the, we've already discussed it in another video where the parking spots here in Australia and obviously in the UK and Europe are very, very small, very bloody small.
Mostly expensive, and sometimes you circle the block for half an hour looking for a spot. One of the most unexpected culture shocks was how optimistic Americans are. There's a real belief here that anything is possible if you work hard enough. People talk about their dreams and ambitions openly, and there's a sense of positivity that's contagious. It made me look at my own goals in a new way. But I also noticed that work culture is intense. Americans take fewer holidays, work longer hours, and often check emails after hours. In Europe, people value their time off and work-life balance. Here, there's more of a hustle mentality. It took me a while to set boundaries and not feel guilty for taking a break.
I think we've come across that before as well. I know in Australia here, if you work full time, even if you work part time, you're still entitled to some anyway. Is holiday pay. You know, you get 4 weeks a year holiday pay, and then you get on top of that, you get 11. I think it's 11 or 12 public holidays where you get off as well. You can opt to work. Sometimes you can work. It's double the price and whatever else, double time. But there is options of taking those off. So you do get a lot more holiday time here. And if you take that, nobody's going to bat an eyelid. You know, it's like, whatever, that's your time. Do with it what you will. That's up to you. You can, if you have, you can actually, and it rolls over for the next year. Like if you don't take all your days in that year, it rolls over. So sometimes people roll it over and they're carrying 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks. But some companies will let you cash that out as well. You know, it's like, I'm not going to use 12 weeks. Let me cash out 2 weeks and I'll continue working. And that way I can use that to do whatever you need to do with it. Obviously, you still get taxed on that as well too. So there is that if you're getting all that at one time. But definitely work-life balance, maybe a little better in Australia, maybe even Europe. But we definitely value our time away from work. You know, work is work. Great. We'll do it when we're there. You know, we might not give 100% while we're there, but you know, it is what it is. But we definitely value our time away from the workplace. We definitely do.
It took me a while to set boundaries and not feel guilty for taking a break. Patriotism is everywhere. You see American flags on houses, cars, and even clothing.
As it
National
should be. Why
holidays
not?
like the 4th of July are huge celebrations with fireworks, parades, and barbecues. People are proud to be American, and they show it in ways I'd never seen before. Another big surprise? Diversity. The US is a true melting pot. I met people from every corner of the world, heard dozens of languages, and tried foods I'd never even heard of before. It's one of the best things about living here. You're constantly exposed to new cultures, ideas, and perspectives. But with that diversity comes some challenges. I had to learn to navigate different social norms, accents, and even humor. What's funny in one culture might not be in another.
That's true.
I embarrassed myself more than once with a joke that didn't land or a misunderstanding about personal space. Shopping hours were another shock. In Europe, most shops close early and many are closed on Sundays. In the US, you can shop late into the night.
Europe, maybe? I lived in the UK for 10 years. We had 24-hour shops, like Tesco was open 24 hours, Asda. Here in Australia, I think there's one supermarket in Brisbane where I live which is open 24 hours, and that's down near the airport, half an hour away from where I live. But I don't think that. No, I think there's a lot more 24 hours than that. And being shut on a Sunday, maybe in Europe, but definitely not in the UK. Everything is open. I don't know about that one. Maybe where he's from. I don't know where he's from. But the UK was definitely more 24 hours than we have here. I don't know, obviously, in America. But no, I don't know. I don't know about that one. And it's closed on Sunday? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
And many are closed on Sundays. In the US, you can shop late into the night, and some stores are open 24/7. The convenience is amazing, but it took me a while to stop feeling guilty for running errands after dinner. And then there's the weather. Depending on where you live, you can experience everything from hurricanes to tornadoes to blizzards.
Now, one thing I will agree on, the weather in America is mental, and that's putting it politely. From, as you said, from blizzards to hurricanes to tornado alley to, it's just crazy, crazy weather. We have a lot of people in this community from America, and you'll hear them, during live streams. Oh, I got to go. I've got a tornado warning. It's like, oh my God, stay safe wherever you are. But the weather is mental, absolutely mental in America, I must say.
Where you live, you can
It is
experience
split
everything from
personality.
hurricanes to tornadoes
Yeah.
to blizzards. I had to learn about
Crazy.
things like tornado drills, hurricane shutters, and snow days. The climate is as extreme as the country itself. One of the best surprises was how welcoming communities can be. Neighbors introduce themselves, invite you to barbecues, and help you settle in. I joined local groups, volunteered, and quickly made friends. If you put yourself out there, people respond. But I also learned that making deep friendships takes time. Americans are friendly, but building real connections can take a while. Don't be discouraged if it feels superficial at first. Keep showing up, and you'll find your people. Holidays and traditions are a big deal here. Halloween is celebrated with costumes and decorations everywhere. Thanksgiving is all about food and family, and even Valentine's Day is a major event. I loved experiencing these traditions for the first time, even if I didn't always know what I was doing. Sports are another huge part of American life. Football, basketball, baseball, people are passionate, and the community spirit is incredible. I went to my first football game and was amazed by the energy and excitement, even if I didn't understand.
I don't think that's the football that he means. Surely. I know at the moment with the World Cup on, there's a lot of football/soccer around. I think he's thinking football, like American football, I'm sure. Maybe he means soccer. I don't know, but I don't know.
Game and was amazed by the energy and excitement, even if I didn't understand all the rules.
Yeah.
Finally, I was surprised by how much I changed. Living in the US pushed me out of my comfort zone, challenged my assumptions, and made me more open-minded. I learned to appreciate the differences, laugh at my mistakes, and find joy in the unexpected. So, what surprised me most about living in the US? Honestly, it's how much I grew, not just as a newcomer, but as a person. The culture shocks are real, but so are the opportunities. If you're moving here, my advice is be curious, be patient, and embrace the adventure. You'll be surprised at what you discover about America and about yourself. If you have your own culture shock stories or questions about moving to the US, drop them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life tips and stories about starting your American journey. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video helpful.
Now, some good information there, obviously his experiences, but that bit at the end there about if you do move to America, or even if you're just visiting, come with an open mind. Go there with an open mind. Don't rely on movies and media and all that kind of crap. Go there with an open mind, experience it firsthand, and do that culture exchange. Be open to new things, trying new food, trying new cultures, talking to, new people. I reckon that's the best advice, for anybody going to the States. Or anywhere else in the world, really. If you go to a foreign country, go with an open mind and be receptive to those, differences as well. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. So some of them we've come across before, pretty much the same as, we've heard in other videos as well. But that was very interesting from his experience, what he's discovered about moving to America. So if you like that one, guys, let me know down in the comment section. In the meantime, make sure you stay safe, and I will definitely see you in the next reaction video. Oh, you're still here? You want more content? Why don't you check out my Patreon down here? You'll get plenty more content and some exclusive videos over there too. If not, why not check out this one over here?